just take all the accents. Oh, that's great.
There's the Wendigo this whole time.
I'm collecting them.
Oh, great. Please don't use that one. Hey, okay, so let's go ahead and begin tonight. Hi.
Hey.
You there at home. My name is Will Tramp, or Will, or this FNGM. That's what you can find me on Twitter. I am the narrator of Basements and Besties, the Dark Lanterns of Sharn, a level up Advanced 5th Edition actual play. We are playing Level Up Advanced 5th Edition by Ian Publishing, who also sponsors us. Thank you so much, you guys. Hey! Deeply appreciate that. And we're here to play a game. But before we jump into playing the game, and and the last one was a doozy, I think we should go ahead and introduce ourselves. And we like to introduce ourselves by by having the players answer some questions on behalf of their characters. So tonight's question: what is an unreasonable pet peeve of your character? I'd say unreasonable, it maybe doesn't bother most people. For some reason, you just get it just really, really grinds your gears, right? Mm-hmm. I brought to a phrase from my childhood: really chaps the old man's ass. I don't know what that means, but it's a phrase I heard. Yeah, sure, whatever. But we're going to start off with Connor.
So Colton, he is unreasonably annoyed when people just leave doors open. It bugs the shit out of him. It probably comes from the fact that he grew up in a large family and a small house, and you keep it shut to keep the air in and to not mess with the condition. I guess air conditioning, the temperature, but just someone leaves the door open, just shut the fucking door.
And I imagine having your character having is now a part of a group that has adopted 3 wayward orphans. There's a reason why you just go straight to breakfast downstairs. All right, well that's a wonderful answer. I love that. Okay, well then we're gonna go ahead and go from you. We're gonna go ahead and move over to Cassie. Cassie, why don't you go ahead and explain to us a unreasonable irritation of your characters?
So Adelaide needs papers to be organized, ideally alphabetically. All papers must be organized. Unorganized papers drive her. She's House Orion. She was a courier.
Okay, no, that makes a total sense. just you walk by a stack of papers, there's that one that's just like sticking out.
Yeah,
she's like,
it's the straighten them, make sure that they're all neat and aligned. Messy papers.
Messy paper. I love that. Messy paper. She may have been born in the House Orion, but she's deep down she's a civist at heart.
When you deliver as a courier, you need things to be nice and neat and organized so that you always get the right messages where they need to go.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Okay, well, wonderful. Well, we're going to go ahead and move over to Sarah. Sarah, why don't you go ahead and explain to us a unreasonable irritation that your character has?
Deidre absolutely despises chewing noises.
Chewing noises.
When you're sitting around a communal trough at the Greasy Spoon that she frequents, not very many people have table manners, and they all like to smack away at their food.
It's your favorite restaurant, but I hate it.
I hate the patrons, the food.
That touches on our real life nerds.
That's great. That's wonderful. That's so wonderful. Oh, please stop that sound.
See?
All right. Well, then we'll go ahead and finish up here with Colin. Colin, why don't you tell us about your character's unreasonable irritation?
Normally sized doors.
Excuse me.
It's not a huge inconvenience, but he always has to...
Who's he, by the way?
Brock always has to bend down just that tiniest little bit. It's like when you go to those ancient European castles or whatever, when it's like...
Which I do all the time, of course.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't?
But yeah, doors sized for people about,
1 foot.
6 to 10 inches shorter than you.
And if you don't,
I imagine in a humanocentric world, Corvair used to, at one point, way back in the history, used to be dominated by goblins. So I like to imagine.
I think
that,
probably a lot of the lower level ones are accommodate bugbear-sized doors, but yeah.
Yeah, imagine like you go into ancient ruins, you're like, wow, what spacious doors! If only everyone. It's a lost
Wow,
art.
this is really nice.
I'm just imagining standing in a dining room with the chandelier, like you're like leaning over.
Brock says delete chandeliers. use a candelabra like civilized people.
Put it on the table.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, again, my name is Will Tramp. Again, the narrator for Besties and Besties, The Dark Lanterns of Sharn, and I think now is a good time for us to talk about last session.
Do we have a dirge?
Let's go ahead and talk
Shopping trip.
Let's go ahead and talk about last session. Why don't you go ahead and... so last session began with a tense conversation between Deirdre and Darren de Madani. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about that conversation?
He was telling me that apparently there is a collective of other Aberrant Dragonmarked peoples that started the House Tarkanan, and that
What is House Tarkanan?
House Tarkanan is the 13th house? Is it?
Well, what did he tell you?
Yeah.
What did he tell you?
Yeah,
House Tarkanan was?
he told me it's the 13th house or 9th. I can't remember the numbers escaping my brain. But
I want to be clear. He didn't say anything about a number
Oh,
at all.
okay.
He didn't. You're bringing in outside lore.
Sorry.
But there's my Eberron, and then there's the book Eberron.
Okay.
So what did he tell you?
He told me that House Tarkanan was a collective of Aberrant Dragonmarks that had gotten together under a leader that were basically to try to support one another as well as to kind of into the face of the Dragonmarked houses themselves.
Trying to carve their own way in the city.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. They've since had a rival arrive, also an Aberrant Dragonmark, looking to become more involved in the criminal element of Sharn by pushing out Dask and kind of taking over their business, and it is making a bad name for the other members.
And he kind of described how some of their own members of the original House Tarkanan have defected over to this new side, who have much more violent and radical tendencies. Right. So there's sort of a splinter group, and it's causing a lot of problems.
Right.
And I believe he did not necessarily offer you membership. He did mention that to you that something that if it's something you wanted to consider, that he'd be happy to help you sort of kind of make that transition and maybe meet his leader. And I believe he also mentioned that if not, to at least keep him apprised of if you are approached by the other faction.
Right.
Right. And what was the symbol he said to do?
Red handkerchief in the window.
Red handkerchief in the window. Yep. So if you want to contact him, red handkerchief in the window. Now, after that conversation, you guys, Adelaide had a bit of a drink with
a sort of unusually drunk Bonal.
Mm-hmm.
That it seemed more characteristic of Chet's style than Bonal's.
Yeah.
Got a little loose-lipped.
A little loose-lipped. Yeah. What did he tell you?
He asked. He asked when the funeral was, and I had to correct him that he was mistaken. But then also his friend, who is the guildmaster, Summer Corner.
Guildmaster of what?
Of the cliff.
The Clifftop Adventurers
Yes.
Guild, the premier Adventurers Guild of the Clifftop District and Adventuring District. Yes, and also you were having so Bonell was joined by Summer Coroner, as well as a man that you've seen before.
Lorcan.
Lorcan. He's kind of a big, boisterous man.
Who is a former or current adventuring partner to Summer.
Yep. That's exactly what she said. Yeah. So you had a couple of drinks with the loose-lipped Bonell Melview and some of his companions, and then you went to rest. And when you woke up the next day, there was somewhat of an issue. Now Colton You weren't directly a part of that conversation, but you probably overheard some of what was happening. What was going on with young Kelsis?
So Kelsis had thought it a good idea to, one, skip class, but also to steal a couple of silver from Brock's coin purse.
Ooh, yeah.
Because he wanted some lizard on
He was caught, wasn't he? By who?
by Gertie.
Okay, well, and Gertie doing, if I'm not mistaken, Gertie being the very stern manager that she is, forced Kelsis to reveal his indiscretions to Deirdre. Ultimately, Deirdre chose to take a softer hand at the urging of...
Bron McGurdy.
Yes, Bron McGurdy, who convinced Deirdre to allow him to take Kelsis to the market to calm down, get the on the stick, and then to get him back to class when he's a bit more composed. Speaking of the market, I believe while Brock was showing off he was showing off a brand new device of his own design.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh yeah, showing off a brand new device of his own design. You were invited to go to the market as well by Adelaide, but you seem to be a little bit more interested in showing off your newfangled.
He did ultimately agree to follow Adelaide to the market. Yes.
Yes, that is true. But as you were having that conversation and where you're showing off your what were you showing off again?
He's basically made a rudimentary electromagnet with a dragon shard and a piece of like a lodestone.
Oh, wonderful!
And attached it to a gauntlet.
That's amazing. Yeah. And you're pulling the bed frame across the room
with which he had stuck crossball bolts into.
Yeah. Now, the conversation that you had with Adelaide, ultimately she convinced you that you should go to the market, but you were interrupted in your preparations. What happened?
There was a loud explosion coming from the marketplace.
The group then decided together to go to the marketplace, where they know that young Kelsis and Ron McGurdy had just gone. You could see plumes of smoke rising, and when you arrived, you found a nightmarish scene at the nearby marketplace. You saw smoke rising from buildings that were ablaze with flames. You could see in the streets that the ground was covered in scorch marks and a number of bodies, some moving, some not. You saw people who just watched as these buildings began to burn with screams coming from inside. And if I'm not mistaken, you all decided to take action.
Yep.
And as a result of those actions, you were able to save a number of people's lives and help put out the fire. Now, we begin tonight's session. The fires have been put to rest. You can hear in the distance the sounds of the watch coming. You probably have about probably just a few minutes before the watch arrives and will potentially try to take over the situation. And the three of you, Adelaide, Colton, and Deirdre, you had gone to check on Kelsis, who had revealed to you that he had been shoved into one of the buildings when the explosion had gone off by Bron McGurdy, potentially in a bid to save the young boy's life at the cost of his own. You have just you see the tears welling up in Kelsis's one remaining eye as he points to a charred skeleton in front of the door leading into that building, and you know that Bron McGurdy is dead. I shouldn't have taken him to the market.
No, Kelsis, and I'm gonna sweep in and I'm gonna pull him in and sort of hold him. Kelsis, he was going to the market anyway. He would have already been here. You coming with him didn't change that. He already had errands to run. I'm just gonna sort of hold him and cradle him and try and calm him.
He's just sort of sobbing into your arms there for a moment.
Is there anyone close by that is semi-conscious?
Plenty. Like,
I want to look for someone who is alive but not coherent to try to see if I'm able, that's close to the center of the explosion, and I want to see if I can try to pull up their thoughts of what occurred at the time of the explosion.
Okay, so there are a number of people that you had seen Brock and Brock and Colton remove from the area. There were, in fact, four survivors that you saw. There was a dark-skinned man with long hair, kind of pulled back into a ponytail, who's kind of just covered in soot. There is a tan-skinned man with a very well put together, were not for a little bit of scorch marks on here and there on his face that seems to be trembling. You also see Balafra Mornan, the dwarf proprietor of Good Spirits, who is sort of sitting actually a bit of a ways away from the trembling man, almost intentionally. So you get, and let's see who else was pulled out of there. Anybody else? And there's the man that you were able to, the older man who was pulled from the building, as well as the unconscious elven woman that you pulled. So, who in particular are you going for right now?
The man that's completely covered in soot, he would have been closer to the center of the actual blast, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to go to him.
Okay, sounds good. So this is that man, right here. And you go closer to him, and as you get near him, you're not trying to speak to him. You're just trying to stand next to him and read his thoughts.
Well, if he is unconscious,
no,
if he's conscious, I'm going to be caught.
The only person who is unconscious is the elven woman that you pulled out. Everyone else seems to be conscious.
Then I'm going to actually seek his permission first, just to let him know, hey, I'm trying to figure out what's happening.
Okay, so you're going to try to talk to him. I want to make sure I understood, because you said, I want to read their thoughts. I'm like, okay.
If they're unconscious, that was the caveat.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And I'm sorry, Adelaide, what are you doing at this point?
I had sort of taken Kelsis, and I'm sort of holding him. I don't know if he'll let me, sort of pick him up to move.
Sure.
So I'm sort of holding him, but I'm going to go up to Brock, and what do we need to look for?
Brock is crouched down, I think probably near the center of that big scorch mark.
Right, so Brock, we, let's hold that thought real quick. What are you doing?
Recognizing a familiar face, I'm going to go talk to Balafra.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Brock, where we last left you, you were spending your time investigating the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you had given a check last time.
Yep.
What was the result of that check? Do you remember?
It was a 25.
Wow. Okay. With that 25, you were able to definitively tell that this was a fireball. A fireball spell. You could see by the radius of it that by the radius of the spell, it is it's the exact radius of the spell. You've seen it cast before. You within by the way, you're able to get a nice body count too. There are in the middle of that about two halfling bodies, two cloaked humans, lying near the dead gnome in the that's near dead center of this. And so these main 5 bodies have not been completely burned to a crisp here.
Okay.
But you've taken stock of those 5 there, and you've managed to determine this is a fireball.
Okay. Fireball did this. Sorry, Adelaide, what were you saying?
What do we need to look for? Can we determine direction?
I don't think so. I can tell where the center of it was, but it could have come from anywhere within about 150 feet, I think.
Who was at the very center?
This gnome right here.
Right. I'm still sort of holding. I'm trying to keep his face sort of to my chest so that he does not have to see the chaos.
He's not a baby. He's a
right.
pretty big kid. So you're kind of taking him to the closer you get to these bodies and the ground, the more he tenses, and he seems to be getting very upset to be in the middle of this.
Okay, then I'm going to I'm gonna remove myself with him, and You said like Balafra was sitting
Yeah,
further off. I'll go further away then.
Okay, so real quick, you see that that Colton is going towards Balafra.
I'm gonna go towards Colton.
Okay, so the two of you are going to go and talk to Balafra together.
Yes, since that's further removed, I'll join him.
Sure, sounds good. Okay, let's go ahead real quick and let's talk to Balafra. So the two of you approach. I'm sorry, real quick. What are you? As she walks up, what? So you determine what this is.
Yeah.
You see that there are these bodies, these particular bodies in the middle. What are you going to start doing? You have just a few minutes to the watch arrives.
He is going to probably examine the cloaked bodies and see if there's anything of importance that may have survived the explosion.
Wonderful. Okay, so you head towards Battle from Rornarn, who's sort of sitting there, and she's kind of like she seems to be taking stock of herself and kind of like looking over and kind of wiping off suit and stuff, and she goes, fuck, get off, I know you.
You do, Miss.
Hey, thank you for helping me out of there. I had lost my mind. There's an explosion. So many people died.
Did you see where it came from?
Well, did I see where it came from? Well, I don't. She apologizes as her she's having a bit of a she seems to be having a bit of a time with remembering this. So she goes hey, yeah, I did. I saw something kind of strange just while I was in the alleyway. There's this man, but it wasn't a man. It was like a machine, like a warforged or something, standing on top of the building right over there. She points over here, standing on top of the building right over there, and he had this necklace, this golden necklace, and he pulled off he pulled something off of it as he stood up there, right? He pulled something off it. I thought it was weird. I was watching him, and it was just like little red gemstone in his hand, and it started to glow, and he threw it. He threw it, and then that's when the explosion happened. I saw him. I ducked into the alleyway, and I heard like something fall into the alleyway itself, like metal, something metal hitting the ground by the alleyway there. But I then blacked out for a bit. But I swear to you, it was one of the morphers. I tell you, sort of though, but not really. It didn't fully look like one.
What was all of that? He didn't fully look like one.
Well, he didn't have the the mark that most of the morphers have on top of his head, right? And he moved, or it moved, I guess, more stiffly than you would have thought. Its body was made of like burnished copper and like pale wood, and it was wearing like a robe, right? Like a reddish robe, and this foppish red hat with this big feather. Looked fucking ridiculous. And it had I ain't never seen a warforged with one of these, so this is, without the symbol, every warforged has one of those. I've never seen a warforged with a beard, right? Like it had not really a beard, like it was like shaped into like one of them pointy little beards,
Yeah.
like a Van Dyke, one of those beards.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
And she describes this to you.
Okay. Well, Miss Morgan, I'm very glad that you're all in one piece. I would say...
Sorry, you gotta speak up just a hair,
Sorry, smoke in my lungs. Miss Morgan, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're in one piece.
Me too.
I would say if you can, if you need, I kind of hand her like a handkerchief and say, it's not much, but hopefully it'll help.
Oh no, I thank you. Hey, you're real damn heroes, that. I saw what you were doing out there. That's real brave of you.
Yeah.
Hey, you when you get this all figured out, you come by my shop sometime. Let me say thank you proper. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. You said over back in the alley you were in.
Yeah, back in the alley there.
Okay. I'm gonna go take a look.
You step up to this man. This man, and he's sitting there, he's covered in soot. Covered in soot, and he's sort of standing off a little bit of ways from others, and he's kind of he looks like he's like kind of surveying the scene, and he's like kind of coming out of a daze here. And the approach goes, "Oh," he goes, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, actually, you were right around where it happened, yeah?
Fuck! Yeah, I was. Right there in the middle of it all.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I was wondering, I'm trying to figure out exactly what happened, and I got some ways of doing that. But I just wondered if you would let me try to
What
help.
ways are you fucking talking about? What are you saying?
I'm gonna have to, just talk to you for a bit.
Well, I got places to be, lady. So if you wanted to talk,
Yeah, I'd be willing to give you some coin if that's gonna help buy you some time with your errands. I just need you to sit still, and I need you to think really hard about what just happened.
Look, I don't know what you're talking fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what do you mean think really hard? What, are you gonna read my fucking mind?
I'm gonna try to figure out what happened. I'm gonna ask you questions, but I need you to have it right here at the front of your head.
Give a persuasion check with disadvantage, because this is a very strange way that you are approaching this.
Is it negotiation? Oh wait, I don't have disadvantage on it. Oh wait, do I have disadvantage? Yeah, I do.
You have disadvantage on all checks.
Yeah, I need a reroll. I don't have a disadvantage on all checks.
You are exhausted. Oh, exhausted. I'm sorry. No, you're poisoned, which means you have disadvantage on all skill checks.
Okay.
You as I mentioned, you're throughout the entire rest of the scene, we're still actually in that scene.
Then, on a reroll of the die, do I reroll?
You still go with the lowest one of the two rolls.
But I only reroll one.
Correct.
Okay. Then that's going to be a 16.
I'll answer your fucking questions. But I'm not gonna cut the weird shit. Fucking, I don't got time for this. Ask your questions. What do you want to know? What are you trying to fucking ask me? Fuck! Fuck!
Take a deep breath. What happened?
Right.
And just to give you an understanding, as he's explaining, I'm going to try to probe his mind.
Okay. So that gives him a. You're going to try to force your way into his mind.
Yes.
Okay. So you're sitting real close to him.
Yes.
So what?
Next to him.
So what? Explain to me what I need to do for this.
So you need to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Okay. I actually somehow literally just misplaced my d20. No idea what just happened there. No. No, not your dice. No. Yeah, I completely fucking lost. Oh, there it is, right there. Okay, great. Okay, it does not take root.
It does not take root.
Does not take root.
Okay.
Now you were trying to hide it though, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you need to roll a sleight of hand versus his perception.
Right. Oh, I got disadvantage on all checks, right? That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be 18.
Disadvantage with
I rolled a 20 and a 13.
Okay. He does not seem to notice, but it does not take root.
Okay.
Okay. So you ask him what happened. Okay. He goes, "I was trying to. It's coming through to pick up some supplies over there. Good Spirits." Kind of points towards Good Spirits, which is not one of the buildings that was on fire. He goes, "I don't know what happened. There's just this bright light. There's a lot of heat, and I think I was knocked out for a bit."
Do you not remember hearing anything out of the ordinary right before?
Yeah, I saw this bright light.
Before the bright light.
No. Give me an insight check. Give me an insight check.
That's going to be 13 plus 5, 18 again.
Okay. You get the impression he's not telling you the full truth.
I mean, it seems like something else would have happened. Like, it just feels like something's off. What are you saying?
Look. I must have been fucking hallucinating.
Right.
Right. But just after the explosion, I could have sworn I saw this mechanical, like, angel of death moving amongst the bodies around me on the ground. I thought he was gonna come for me next, but he just turned and ran away.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's fucking crazy talk.
Crazy talk. Yeah.
Is that fucking enough for you?
I mean, if that's everything you heard and saw, yeah, that'd be helpful. Just trying to figure.
Well, I ain't get fucking blown up there to get fucking accused of hiding shit.
Look, you're in distress, yeah. I know in distress moments you don't really remember much, but if you happen to remember something else, come and find me at the White Stag. Okay?
I don't know who the fuck you are. I need to find you.
I'm part of the White Stag Company. We own the inn up the road. Come have a drink, relax, and if you happen to remember something, just tell me.
Fine, what's your fucking name? That's what people usually start off
My
with his
name is
fucking
D.
names. D.
Yeah.
Alright, D. If I remember anything else, I'll come fucking find you at the White Stag.
Alright,
Whatever
thank
the fuck
you.
that is. Yeah,
It's an
whatever.
inn. Say that, it's up the road.
Alright. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Alright. And this nameless man walks away.
Got it.
Okay. You were looking over the bodies on the ground.
Mhm.
You were specifically going to look over the cloaked humans.
Yeah.
As you pull aside, you can see that they're pretty much burned beyond recognition. You can see at their sides. You can see that they're placed. They are placed fairly close to this gnome. Both of them kind of placed together. The gnome just a few feet away from them. You see that they are armed. There are short swords at their sides, but melted to slag.
Yeah.
And you can also see, as you kind of lift up their cloaks, you see their skin has been fully burned away.
Okay.
And what at first you think are just burn marks, you stop for a second, you take another look, and you realize that on one man's arm and on another man's face, you see this angry red mark in the shape of a dragon's wing and a curling tail.
I'll be damned. Okay. I'm at this point. Do I have time to look over or is there even anything recognizable on the gnome at this point, or do I have time?
You want to start going to look at the gnome now? You have a few minutes till they arrive. You have
Sure.
about another minute, I'd say.
Yeah.
Another minute. You can see the sound getting closer. You can see through the towers. You see flying on sword discs.
Uh-huh.
These green, green crystal.
Yeah.
Flat top.
Floating platforms.
Kind of floating
things.
platforms.
Yeah.
All right. You see the colors of. You can recognize from the distance the colors of the City Watch.
Okay.
Coming towards you. So you have very limited time.
Okay.
So you're gonna go look at the gnome.
Yeah.
Okay. Kelsis, by the way, Kelsis kind of hops out of your grasp and wants to sit down for a minute. Some of the locals start to kind of offer him some water and such, and he seems to be being taken care of.
Okay.
So what do you wish to do next?
I'm going to run to Brock and try and help Brock any way I can.
And I was going off to the alley when Miss Mornan had pulled herself armor. She said she heard something metallic.
I'm going to. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go ahead and try to move amongst the people and see if there is. He said the mechanical person was moving amongst them. If there's any sign because this is a stone city center, right?
Sure.
Like scrape marks or something that would have connotated.
You're looking for tracks.
Yeah.
That sounds good. You're looking for tracks. Okay, so what I'm going to need from you is a survival check. What I need from you is a perception check. What I need from, I'm sorry, not perception. You're looking, perception is what I mean, yes. And then you two, you're looking over the body of them and you're helping him?
Yes.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. What is your survival check?
12.
12. You do see strange footprints that just sort of appear in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And actually in the soot. That sort of appear near the gnome body. And then quickly leave. But once you get to the edge of the soot, the squirt mark, there's too much to track on this ground. There's too much traffic has come through this area to be able to reasonably look for anything like that.
Can you tell size, like how big the foot is?
Probably belongs to somebody of possibly about human sized or maybe warforged size.
Okay.
17.
17. Yeah. So you're as you go looking through the alleyway, you see kind of behind the ring bucket, you can see that there is you find a golden chain, right, like a necklace, and you can see hanging off of it are two little gemstones, two little red stones on clasp, and there's a broken clasp in the middle.
I'll pocket it.
Okay, sounds good. The two of you are looking over the body of the gnome, and you can see the gnome has dry waste on his boots and cloak. There's a smell of like burnt shit. Suggesting that it smells like burnt shit. Like maybe like he's been traipsing around somewhere where there'd be a large amount of waste. You also note that in his hand he's clutched a pouch in his hand, which does not seem to have been affected by the fire.
Ooh.
I will try to prise the hand open and see what's inside the pouch.
You see 5 gemstones of what appear to be considerable value in there. You also note that a couple of people are kind of watching you as you guys are going through this area. What do you do with that bag of gemstones?
I think he'll leave it there. He's looking for evidence rather than trying to loot the corpse.
What about you? You're there. You see this. Do you do the same?
Yeah, I'm not taking anything. That's too risky.
Okay. It is at this point that you see people look to the sky and you can see shadows fall over you as a number of city guardsmen approaching on Sordisk and a sky coach behind them appear and begin to unload. The various guardsmen hop off of the ship and begin to start forming a perimeter. You can see that Jalister Silvermane is among them, but truly giving the orders here is a somewhat familiar-looking older dwarven woman, dressed in Braylish blue, dressed in robes of blue and black. She has kind of a wild look to her eyes. Her hair is pulled back into this big, messy bun, and you recognize this woman who's been in your bar before. Kind of starting to bark orders. I form the perimeter. Get these people back. The fire, make sure the fires are contained. Search the buildings, ensure that no one's around. We gotta find out what's happened here, and we're gonna figure this out. Folks, remain calm. The Blackened Book is here.
Blackened Book? Do I know what the Blackened Book is?
It is the Blackened Book is a portion of the Sharn City Watch that deals specifically with magical threats.
Okay.
Oh.
I think you should probably go without saying that Brock is stepping away from the corpses at this point.
She actually sees you all, the two of you in there, and then kind of you coming out from this alley and such. And she starts to, and you kind of look at you. Basically, all 4 of you were in that kind of same general area. And she kind of starts walking up towards you and goes, "Hi, folks, I recognize you. You're the ones who bought the White Stag.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Fine place. Used to own it myself, but we don't have time to talk about that now. Need you to move along. We got an investigation to conduct here.
Yes, ma'am. We'll get out of your way.
Yep, get out of your way.
Great.
Yeah.
And she and Jalser, who kind of nods to all of you, begin to have a couple of men and women start looking over the scene.
Rock is going to accompany the others that sounded like they were making their way back to the White Stag.
I'm actually going to hang about here and actually discuss with whoever's in charge about recruiting.
So you're going to try to talk to Silvermane or
Silvermane or the other woman who.
Sure, one of those two. Okay, so what are you doing then? Because I know you weren't going to talk to Silvermane. What do you decide to do?
I'll take Kelsa's back.
Okay, so the three of you leave. Okay, so you stay behind, and you see. Eventually, you were able to get Silvermane's attention. We'll say, and Silvermane kind of walks up to you and goes, "Hi, rough stuff. I heard I was talking to a couple of the witnesses. They said that you and the others had part in this."
I mean, we were trying to help people.
The helpful part. I didn't mean to imply.
We didn't blow anything up yet. We
Alright.
got some.
Well, I want to thank you so much for your assistance in the matter.
Yeah, I also wanted to let you know that Perkelsis, our little one, McGarity Cite tried to save him and another boy by pushing him out of the way.
Bron was one of the ones.
I gestured towards the larger one in front of the door.
That's a big loss.
Yeah, it's bad. I just want to make sure, I kind of got a feeling about his past, but wanted to make sure that you were aware that he was a good man. In his last moments, he did great things.
You see behind one of the kind of guardsmen hold something up, and you see the dwarven woman goes, "Bring that over to me! Let me see it!" And you see Silvermane turns around and goes, I'm sorry, you're wanting the body of Bron returned once the investigation's over? Is that what you're saying?
I'm trying to make sure he gets right, so if he needs to come back to us, we can get it
Well,
buried right.
we'll be trying to contact his next of kin.
Right.
But I'll certainly be happy to make you aware of any, if there's any issues or of any arrangements.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's done right. And as I'm talking to him, I'm kind of shifting focus back behind his shoulder to see what.
Looks like somebody's found something, and the dwarven woman is looking over it.
I'm going to approach her.
Captain Silvermane goes, oh, as you try to cross the perimeter, and he goes, she's conducting an investigation.
Yeah, I know. I might be able to help. I mean, I might
Give
be
a
able to...
persuasion check.
Oh, what's my charisma? I don't have that memorized. I need a coin, please. Better. That's gonna be a 10.
He goes, you're in no condition to, and he will not let you cross the line.
Alright. Well, if you need help, which I think you might, I'm available.
This is what Okuria does. But if we need any information, we'll be sure to reach out to you and yours.
With what she's looking at, am I able to tell if it's like paper, an object?
Give a perception check.
Okay. That's gonna be 22.
With a disadvantage?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. She's looking over some. She's holding like a little piece of what appears to be like a broken necklace clasp.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of piece of that, and she's discussing and kind of pointing at things like she's building out a scene of something of like what kind of working through what like the step by step process of what happened looks like.
Okay.
So you hear the words pursuit. You hear the words you hear the phrase he was being chased, but that is all you hear.
Okay.
As you guys are pushing your way through the crowds of people and trying to make your way back, you see a familiar face in Bonel or Nelvy, who is amongst the people with the crowd that's sort of amassed and sort of like kind of amassed to kind of see and witness what's been happening. And you see Bonel or Nelvy kind of like trying to push his way through the crowd towards the front. There's a look of desperation on his face, and look of desperation and deep concern.
I'm going to try and basically lead through to meet him.
Oh, Adelaide.
Yes.
Miss Oleander, I'm sorry. What happened?
An explosion of some sort. In the marketplace.
Explosion.
Yes.
Any dead?
Yes.
Was there a gnome among them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Brock?
Yeah, there was...
But, Ronell, I think you should maybe come back with us. It's a long story. To the White Stag?
Yeah, and the Watch have set up their perimeter now, so...
Right. Yeah. Let's go to the White Stag. And you guys will return to the White Stag. It doesn't take long, as she's been also rebuffed, till you all find yourselves back at the White Stag Manor. Bonell is sort of pacing in front of the table that you were all set at. It's currently empty. The White Stag Manor is currently empty, other than just you can hear people working in back rooms and such. You see the broom still sitting on the ground where Braun had left it before he had walked out the door. Kelsis has been given over with to the other children and the tutor and Gertie Dune, who swooped in to hearing the situation, swooped in to help take care of the children while you clearly see that you have some important business to handle. So, Bono is pacing as you tell him what you found.
I will tell him that there was the body of a gnome near the center of the explosion. Yes.
As you kind of describe the gnome's features, because he has a number of questions about, you can tell very quickly that Bonell knows this gnome. And once you're finished telling him, he goes, "When the Council of Sharn ousted my father for his crimes, I had thought his long dark shadow was finally gone for good. But the truth is, I want nothing to do with the man. But his spies, and he has spies, would hound me for ever since. Watching him, trying to see if... I don't know. One of them was a gnome by the name of Dalakar, who's been watching me for the past few months. Dalakar was an agent working for my father. I assume my father had assigned him to keep an eye on me. He would skulk around and I would see him pretty much everywhere. But about a month or so ago, he just abruptly disappeared. I don't know where he had been. It was just before I was taken. Yesterday, last night I returned home to find a message waiting for me from Dalakar, an urgent message requesting that he and I meet to discuss. I don't know what he wanted to discuss. His message simply said that he was carrying something valuable for my father, was unable to deliver it, and was hoping that I could help. I sent a message back stating that I would meet him at the White Stag. I can see that he will not be arriving anytime soon.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet.
And you said he followed you for a while and then just dropped off the face of the earth until he messaged.
Just before I had been captured.
Just before you were captured, okay. Is there a chance he may have been involved in your capture or completely unrelated incident, in your opinion?
I don't know. But I don't know. I don't understand what he was involved in.
Something dangerous, apparently.
Had Dalakar requested to meet with you before this time?
No, never. It was a very strange request. Someone who has been keeping an eye on you from afar suddenly saying that they need your help. I didn't know what to make of it, which is why I chose a location that I trusted and would be public, surrounded by people that I trusted.
I can't see a reason why a spy would reach out to the person they're watching. That is obscenely strange.
Do you know what caused this?
I've got a few ideas, but nothing concrete.
The explosion itself. I've seen a lot of different kinds of explosions. This one was magic. This was a fireball.
It was described that there was an entity who seemed to have a magical necklace.
Warforged, yeah.
By chance, and I kind of, from the coat, kind of pull like this.
That's what she described.
Missing link, yeah?
Looks like it. Something's broken off of it.
Well, they found the other piece.
Okay,
So-
going to go hide this then.
Took that from the crime scene.
We're a nosy sort.
Look, I'm not here to give you up. It's just making sure you understand. Never mind. You know your business better than I. My apologies.
There's a Warforged. Apparently the Warforged walked among the gnome for a bit. And the people around them.
Now, you didn't have that conversation.
I had the conversation with the guy who said the angel...
Winged mechanical angel of death.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, my apologies.
Warforged. And then also I found the tracks, the humanoid tracks I assumed, which
Sure.
was it.
The Wolforge, you say?
Yeah.
Huh.
In a floppy red hat.
Yeah. Baltha, she described the same thing. She said a red...
Right, that's what I was...
Yeah.
Well, if this Warforged is wearing the same clothes, it'll definitely stand out.
A Wolforge, you say? Huh.
But-
Burnished copper.
An unmarked
Copper.
Warforged.
Well, every Wolforge bears a smith's mark.
Yeah.
But this one didn't.
So was
She specifically said it didn't.
Are we sure it was a Warforged?
I mean, what she described, that's the closest thing.
All right.
Some kind of mechanical entity.
There's other constructs out there.
Possibly.
Could be.
I'm not a
But
mechanical.
yeah,
It's true. There are other contracts out there. Why don't you go ahead and give me a Arcana check?
Okay.
Based on the evidence that you've seen. Okay, and have heard.
hey, pretty good. 18.
Okay. So, as they begin describing kind of this sort of floppy red hat, this sort of like Van Dyke beard, and start kind of going through the materials made, and you think about the portion that Balafra mentioned about like how it was on the roof, and then you're hearing that it was on the ground in the middle of all this, and how it would take a contract of considerable nimbleness to be able to get down there so fast, that quickly without the aid of magic. Based on what they're describing, you do some research into these kind of things. You know that there is a new type of construct referred to by some as the Ondarian Second. But the more technical term is a Nimblewright. A Nimblewright, or the Ondarian Second, is a construct known for dueling, and often are stylized off of famous, or at least from what you've heard of the description, you believe, because it sounds very much like the description that's being given to you sounds very much like a famous Ondarian fencer, Carol Lynn, who seems to be very reminiscent of that iconic image of Carol Lynn, the Ondarian swashbuckling fencer. So your brain goes to the Ondarian Second, the Nimblewright. You know that these are, with your knowledge check, you know that these are being developed by House Kenneth East, based out of Karnoth. You know that they are based off, you know they're done by House Kenneth East, and they have not yet known to be in Sharn as of yet. They have not been released to the general public.
So what's one of those doing here? I will share that information with the group.
Well, now, how's your research going?
fruitless.
Is it? Would Dalakar have been aware of what he will be searching?
I have not spoken to him since I began my investigation, so I don't believe he would have any reason to.
Well, he must have something important to tell you for someone to kill him before you could meet with him. So,
Yeah, I would agree.
is this some sort of...
Well, are you sure that somebody was trying to kill him?
I mean, he was the center of the flesh, yeah?
Yeah, but there were 2 other bodies next to him too.
Yeah, but you
And they were armed.
describe them as toughs.
I mean, yeah,
Seems like they were protected.
they had weapons.
I heard someone was pursuing someone. There was a chase when I was down there.
Yeah.
So it seems like he either had some guys with him helping him, escorting him, and taking him somewhere he didn't. But whatever blew them up was blowing him up.
Mm.
I never saw Dalakar work with others.
Maybe he was captured. I don't know.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but I fear that maybe if anyone else knew of the arranged meeting, Bonell, do you think there's a chance that...
Sorry, I'm hard of hearing.
Do you think there's a chance that you were the intended target?
I don't understand why you keep. I don't understand why I would be.
I mean, he wasn't there.
He also doesn't look nothing like a gnome.
Yeah.
Just coming up with ideas.
So, if you didn't share anything that you're trying to do, what would be important for him to tell you? Wait a second. Did you say they had marks?
Yeah. Yeah, both of them had Bavarian dragon marks.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, Dalakar certainly wasn't working. Well, not to my knowledge. There's.
It's unusual for well, I don't know, maybe not unusual for like-minded people to group up like that, but
He also had a bag of gems.
yeah.
Dalakar.
Huh.
And you know anybody that pay him in gems?
Plenty of people to find easy currency to use.
I mean, feels like a lot for just an attempted mugging. I don't think.
I don't think it was mugging. I'm just saying it could be a sign of who he came from, where he came from, who gave him the jewels.
Well, again, I don't know Dalakar to have worked with anyone else in particular. So these, especially aberrant-marked men,
Yeah.
I would wonder if they were not his allies at all.
So he could have captured him, or accosted him.
What did you say that you heard?
Said he was being chased, pursued.
Perhaps they were chasing him.
Yeah, could have been us.
Not captured, just chasing him.
That's what I'm saying.
Where were they? Where are these men placed?
Right next to each other near the center of the
But
explosion.
compared to him,
I don't remember exactly.
they were just behind. They were just like a few feet away. And as she says, pursue, and you kind of if you piece that together, it's like actually that could very well be happening.
If they were chasing him, that might explain their positioning. Okay, Sure. So, let's say that these two guys were chasing him. What then possesses this nimble, right? Balafur said that it had the necklace in its hand, right? When it was up on the roof.
She said it was wearing it, yeah.
So what possesses that? What motivation would it have to, use one of these things, if that is what it is, to throw it, to cause an explosion, killing everyone in there?
Probably because whatever that gnome knew was more advantageous when he's dead.
So you think there's three sides involved here?
Might be.
Yeah.
Could be 2, could be 3. I
Could
don't
have
know.
been someone cleaning up a mess.
Yeah.
Maybe things got out of hand and one side decided it was easy to just burn the situation away.
Yeah, but whatever it was, they were after the gnome.
More answers just lead to more questions.
I think we gotta go talk to Silvermane about getting better looks and information from what's going on if we're gonna try to figure this out.
You also need to figure out where this Nimblewright went.
Yeah. Did you find, other than that thing, did you find anything?
No, just this. I didn't want to dig around too long with the watch on the way.
Right. You know anybody that's got Warforged or interested in
Warforged.
Nimblewright?
Warforged. Do they have Warforged?
I
They're
mean,
people.
like a place for them to gather so we can talk to some of them. Maybe they know the Nimblewright.
Unfortunately, that's not really my area of expertise. And it sounds like by what Brock is saying, that this may not be Warforged at all. Be very different. Warforged are an intelligent people. Constructs, though, are not. They're automatons. They're programs.
So a better question would be, who's in the market for these specialized automatons?
Yes, the ones that haven't been seen in Sharn before.
Right.
Would I know anybody who might have an ear to the ground for that kind of thing?
Not off the top of your head.
Okay.
This sounds like something that you may have to do some investigation.
Whoa! Okay.
But no.
Some actual actions here. So at this point, we're going to say Bono doesn't have much more to offer this conversation.
Yeah.
He will kind of finish his water, and then he will take his leave. As he takes his leave, to leave you to continue your planning. Yeah. Gertie Dune will come down as he leaves, and she's moving back towards the kitchen. The children have taken the rest of the day off of their studies. Young Master Kelsis is beside himself.
Yeah.
I was going to make them some nice tea.
So we gotta know. We got a fire necklace that the Nimblewright dragged.
She'll come over. Your throat looks parched.
We
Here,
got
take
2 aberrants with swords, possibly chasing him. And we wanted to give him information. We'll talk to him.
Yep. Where do we start here?
There's a lot of pieces. Well, one, I would say we need to keep an ear.
tea.
We need to keep our ear out for on Elview. If he is gonna be, thank you. If the gnome is trying to give him information, then it's pertinent to him to have the information. So potential is that he is the next
There's
target.
more sugar than anything in mine. I've
So-
just been lumping. I'm like,
So we gotta keep an ear out for that. This other thing is, I didn't tell you, but Madani came by. You saw him. And
Donnie.
is guilt.
Yeah, Gilda's still in the room.
Madani came by and he gave me some information. We may want to discuss that at some point.
Okay.
Could you excuse us for a minute, please?
Oh, my apologies.
Appreciate it.
Before she goes, is it true about Master McGurdy?
Yeah.
Yes. I've asked if arrangements can be made or arrangements are made that we're notified.
He was a good man.
He was. He saved Calxus.
Do you know who did this?
We're trying to figure it out.
Find the bastard and kill him.
That's right.
Such her, and she walks out the door.
Right,
Okay.
so there's more like me. They're grouping together. And they're fighting each other. There's a side that just kind of wants to be left alone, do their own thing, figure their way out. They're good, sounds like. Then there's the other side who wants to move in on Das territory. Das criminal organization.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Things. And they're a lot more violent. So the problem is, I don't know if these two are affiliated with one or the other.
Well, if they're working on the lower levels, if Dalekar was involved with them, that might explain why he had, shit on his shoes.
Sewers.
Yeah.
So is it a sewer? So it was the Das
Well, we know Dask had.
in the sewers, yeah. So it could have been them. But the issue is they're trying to move in on Desk. So they're not Desk. They're just the violent people going after Desk territory. If that's the case.
Well, it seems like they weren't any friends of this Dalekar guy either.
No, I mean, maybe they try to get information from him, but we won't know that because they're dead. But something's going on.
Yeah.
And this business of him trying to get information to Bonelview. Was there anything on the body besides Jim's?
Just the shitty shoes and the pouch of gems.
Why the fuck would he be with Dask? I said, why would he be with Dask? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. They were trying to wait a sec. That warehouse.
Yep.
They were taking on Nelvin. Dalekar. They took on Nelville. Dalekar gets killed later. So they took something from Nelville. Remember the middle thing?
Yep. The thing in the locket.
Maybe that's what the Dalekar was after. And maybe he got it. I don't know. Maybe
Maybe
it's one of them gems.
Or maybe the gems were to. Maybe they thought that Bonell still had it, and he was sent with the gems to buy it off of them.
But why would he be running away from him if he's trying to buy it?
Well, he's probably running away from the the guys with swords.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And we think they're with Desk, or he went down to Desk because he had shit on his shoes. Yeah. So if he always knew you were there, why does he still have his gems if he's trying to buy it?
Well, remember, it wasn't a Dask warehouse. It was a Clan Boromar warehouse.
Right. But Dask was there and took whatever was in that thing out of it.
So, right, if the gnome was with Dask, it wouldn't make sense for him to be.
If the gnome was going down there to buy it from him, then why would he still have the gems on him?
Right. Speaking of taking, real quick, I want to point of order. When you were speaking with that man, he did mention that that he saw that mechanical angel of death bend down and grab something, and then leave.
Okay, yeah. I relate that. So
We gotta find this nimble right.
yeah, we gotta buy it. Then.
So as you're talking, by the way, you can hear the brothers arguing in the back, and one of them it's kind of stormed out into here. Right as you're getting that portion of the conversation, and kind of storms out and kind of mumbling something about turnips. And he looks and sees all of you, kind of like seems shocked to see all four of you sitting here. And he said, "Oh, sorry, we're just having an argument about." Did you say something about nimble rights?
Yeah, actually.
Oh,
What?
did you see the one in the parade? It's fucking cool.
We missed the
Sorry, Sir's a man.
Oh, no, you're fine. We missed the parade, unfortunately, but there was one in the parade. What did it look like?
I did get a real good view of it. But I remember I saw one. I think they called it the nimble, right? It was, who had it? The Pool of Onotar's Tears. They had a float. And they were the Pool of Onotar's Tears. Yeah. That's what they called themselves. They had a nimble right on their float.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're worshippers of some sort. Onatari, God of Us, forges and I don't know.
Was it dressed in anything?
I didn't get a good look. I just heard that they have, but I'm sorry. I just remember hearing that, and like it seemed cool. But I also wonder, like, okay, hold on. Well, okay, they said they had one, and I kind of pushed it through the crowd, but then I saw it looked just like a Warforged, and kind of big, heavier set Warforged holding a hammer. But then I think that maybe that was a Warforged, so there's something behind him, kind of on display. No, that's it. Now, I didn't see the Nimble Right. I saw the Warforged that was on there. But they said, I heard the crowd talking about the Nimble Right.
And, okay.
So, there's a Warforged with him.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe we gotta go check it out sometimes. See if we can see this Nimble Right.
Yeah, if you do, that'd be ideal. Tell me what it looks like. It better look cool.
No, I'll go let you know.
I always love new technology, right? Yeah. And then he will go ahead and...
By the way...
Yes.
I'm so sorry, because there's been so much going on. You and your brother's names. Your... Which one?
Lemon and tangerine.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Jonathan!
Everyone calls me John.
And your brother, the clean-shaven one.
Markle.
Marco.
Everybody calls him Mark.
I'm Adelaide Oleander, by the way.
Sure, wonderful to meet you. Yeah. You're the owners, right?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Not turn of people, unfortunately. That's all right.
Wait, two of us are!
Oh, you are turn of
Yeah.
people. Yeah. Well, that's great. Some of us.
How do you feel about sliders?
Awesome.
Good, can you make some?
Sure.
Let's do it.
What is it with the miniaturized food?
It's
I don't-
so...
They can fit in your hand.
Yeah, and you can have, like, a variety.
Yeah,
and
you don't have to get full on just one thing. You get like 7 different things. Bites. You should try it sometime.
I'll go and whip you guys all up some. Yeah.
Thank you so much, John.
Should I make some for the kids and Braun?
Yeah. Oh.
And we'll go ahead and end it there. I'm trying to end the session. It's
Okay.
like, let's try to ask them that.
Hey, we want some sliders, damn it.
Okay. Guys, and I wasn't trying to harp on you on the voicing, by the way. I just couldn't hear you.
No, I got
And,
you.
yeah. We got to remember, by the way, we got to keep our voices
Yep.
up. So the, okay. Let's go ahead and talk about tonight's session real quick. We'll start with you.
Okay.
How you feeling about the session?
The plot is thickening
Yeah.
rapidly.
Rapidly.
Looks like a soup with too many turnips.
Okay, so that's how...
Basically just... sorry. No, Brock is feeling probably a little bit overwhelmed at the rate that things are unfolding and things seem to be sort of linking together in an interesting way. I don't know how much investigative work Brock has actually done in his stint with the Dark Lanterns, so this might be his first time really having to put those skills to use.
Well, you've been trained on them, so
Yeah.
we'll see how that pans out. Excellent. Well, this will be good to cut your teeth on. Okay, what about Connor? How is Colton feeling about this whole situation?
Confused. Every question that we answer seems to lead to 3 more questions. Some of it seems very related. Some of it seems completely not related in any way, shape, or form. It's like a puzzle that we have some pieces for, and some of the pieces look like they go to a completely different puzzle. So, not ready to use this much brain power after today.
That's fair. Sarah, who did I end on last time? Sarah, tell me how's Deidre feeling at this point?
Deidre is now having like the wheels start turning in her head, and now she's just click, trying to figure out what's going on with everything.
That makes sense. And Adelaide, how's Adelaide doing?
Adelaide is having a mixture of feeling like she is not doing a very good job at protecting people, given that people like Braun died. And it seems like Bonell might be in danger still. She does feel like with all of these questions and these different threads, we need to research. She feels like there are multiple things to research, including some things that we had on our research pile that we haven't touched yet. So.
All right. Well, Hopefully you'll find the answers to these questions and more when we meet back again. And for those of you watching at home, thank you so much for watching tonight's episode of Basements and Besties, the Dark Lanterns of Sharn. We hope that we'll be able to find some of these answers and maybe start piecing that puzzle together. But until we get there, we hope that you will join us in 2 weeks when we launch our big investigation
into the basement of mystery.
We tried, and that's what I appreciate.